Right now at 6, another armed carjacking happening outside of a Madison daycare. What police are saying about these crimes.
Plus, Madison police are also looking into a string of armed robberies that took place overnight.
And new information this evening concerning several cases of Legionnaire's disease at UW Hospital.
This is News 3 at 6.
Thanks for joining us, everyone. Charlotte is off tonight. Madison police believe 2 young men are targeting daycare centers in Madison after 2 carjackings in 24 hours.
The first incident happened Wednesday outside La Petite Academy on Schrader Road on Madison's west side and involved a father and his 3-year-old daughter. Madeline O'Neill joins us now to talk about another car theft from yesterday, which also involved children. Maddie?
Well, luckily in both of these cases, no one was hurt, but a woman and 3 children are safe tonight after 2 masked robbers forced the kids out of the car at gunpoint around this time yesterday. This time at Great Beginnings Arbor Hills on Todd Drive. Police tell us they believe the 2 carjackings are connected and they're tracking down the criminals.
It's very alarming.
With the many worries that can weigh down a parent, daycare centers lift some of the burden.
The first thing that we focus on is creating a sense of safety and trust.
Outside Great Beginnings Arbor Hills, 2 criminals described by police as masked teens not only stole a car, but some of that sense of safety.
So it's very challenging when incidents like this happen to help repair that.
It happened about 5:30 Thursday when a woman went inside the center to pick up a child as a teenage boy and 2 younger children waited in the car.
Doors swing open. One of the 2 robbers points a gun directly at this 15-year-old boy.
They are very scared as to what happened.
Jen Bailey is the executive director of Reach Dane, which runs Great Beginnings. She says the daycare center is adding more lights and security and plans to work with police to improve neighborhood safety.
There's a concern in my mind as to our centers being targeted.
Madison Police Public Information Officer Joel Despain has an answer.
And we can only assume at this point, since we've had 2 daycare centers hit in consecutive days.
Despain says the 2 masked men were likely behind a similar carjacking outside La Petite Academy Wednesday. In both cases, car doors were unlocked, valuables were taken, and the stolen cars were found in the Tree Lane area.
It's repulsive, it's scary, and of the highest priority for our violent crimes unit right now.
For daycare centers, it's a reminder.
We are no longer living in a time where it's safe to leave your vehicle running or unlocked or unattended.
Police tell us in both instances the victims did everything right, doing what the criminals said to keep themselves safe. They also say carjackers targeting daycare centers was previously pretty unheard of, but they say investigators are making good headway finding the guys behind this.
Let's hope they catch them. All right, Maddie, thank you.
You're welcome.
Madison police are looking for 2 men believed to be connected to a string of robberies that happened last night. All 3 robberies were reported within 30 minutes of each other. Jamie Perez joins us live with more and a look at the surveillance video that police are investigating. Jamie?
That's right. Well, this gas station that you see behind me, as well as 2 other locations nearby, were all involved in that string of robberies. As you can imagine, a very scary situation for everyone involved. And we did manage to get some surveillance video. Let's pull that up so you can take a look at it. You can see in this video that one of the guys is wearing a mask and the other just has a hoodie tied around his face. Now, Madison police would not disclose how much money was stolen, but say they are still looking for the 2 suspects. They say it's likely they parked a couple of blocks away and walked to the locations they robbed. Their K-9 team was able to pick up some of their tracks, but they are still carefully reviewing surveillance video and say it's not very common to have a series of robberies in such a short amount of time.
A lot of times we'll see people, if they're desperate, will commit a lot of crimes in a short period of time. I mean, that's somewhat unusual to see 3 armed robberies committed by the same 2 people within 45 minutes. So, and in each case they got money, so they must not have thought they had gotten enough because they kept going.
And as I mentioned, this gas station that I'm at on Mohawk Drive, as well as the BP gas station on Atwood Avenue and Rocky's Liquor Store on the Beltline Frontage Road, were all victims in that string of robbery. And Madison police are asking anyone with any information to please contact them, especially if you live in that area and you have some surveillance video. For now, reporting in Madison, I'm Jamie Perez, WISC News 3.
All right, Jamie, thank you. A former Madison police officer will spend the next 30 days in jail. Kelly Heft was sentenced today for driving drunk with a child in the car last summer. Her license was also revoked for 14 months. She will be required to have an ignition interlock device on her vehicle for another 14 months after that. Heft pleaded guilty in this case back in October. A Madison man is dead following a crash on the interstate. The 34-year-old was traveling eastbound on I-94 in Waukesha County when he lost control, crossed the median, and hit a vehicle going in the opposite direction. Travel was impacted for several hours after that crash.
Let's check in now with meteorologist Dave Caulfield with a look at the weekend forecast. Dave?
Well, Susan, it is definitely cold outside. Another cold night is ahead across southern Wisconsin. Maybe not single digits on the thermometers, but it may feel like the single digits once again overnight. And a few snowflakes are out and about across southern Wisconsin. We've seen that activity really diminish over the last few hours, but I've seen a few very small snowflakes out on the patio. So if you see a couple, there you go. Downtown Madison on the Edgewater Skycam looking at mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, actually a little bit more cloud cover over the last hour. Wind speed out of the west at 6 miles per hour does feel a little bit more like the teens. So temperatures are still in the 20s for many spots, but a couple of spots have dipped into the upper teens. And with wind speeds not too bad, generally out of the south and west at about 5 miles per hour. It still does feel like 11 in Viroqua, 13 in Madison, 21 in Janesville, and 15 in Platteville. Temperatures and winds over the next 12 hours. We'll see those temperatures continue to fall through the teens and bottoming out right around 10 to 12 degrees overnight. And a look at tomorrow, good amount of sunshine, which is really key this time of year, helping those temperatures get into the upper 20s. We'll talk more about this sunny stretch and what to expect as we head into next week in your First Alert forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, Dave, thank you. 11 UW hospital patients have been diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease. UW Health announced its hot water system could have put the patients at risk. Legionnaire's disease is a type of pneumonia that is caused by bacteria, typically present at low concentrations in tap water. The hospital flushed all of the hot water lines in the building. Tests have shown the process was effective. Out of the 11 cases, 4 are being treated at UW Hospital. 6 have either been discharged or treated at outpatient facilities. One person who has been hospitalized for serious health conditions died last week.
The Colorado man accused of killing his children and pregnant wife is serving his time in a Wisconsin prison now. Chris Watts pleaded guilty last month in Colorado court to murder charges. He was sentenced to 5 life sentences with no possibility of parole. Authorities moved him outside of Colorado for his own safety, and online records show he is now in the Wisconsin Department of Corrections system. A former campaign advisor to President Trump was released from a federal prison camp in Wisconsin today. George Papadopoulos, shown here, spent 10 days at the federal prison in Oxford for lying to investigators about his contact with individuals tied to Russia during the 2016 presidential campaign. He'll now have to serve 12 months supervised release and must serve 300 hours community service within a year and pay a fine. 2 families will need to find a new place to stay after a fire at a Fitchburg duplex started about 11 last night at a neighborhood on Woods Edge Way near the intersection of McKee Road at Seminole Highway. Several departments were called out to the home on Woods Edge and worked through the night. The fire caused about $800,000 in damage. No one was hurt.
The United States Postal Service is expanding its delivery times. The post office expects December 7th to the 23rd to be the busiest mailing, shipping, and delivery days of the month. Officials are expecting nearly 3 billion pieces of first-class mail to be processed during that time. The Postal Service is projecting 15 billion pieces of mail, including more than 900 million packages, will be delivered between Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve. There's a deal going on this weekend at the Dane County Humane Society. The shelter is reducing adoption fees to $5 for adult cats. The deal runs from today until Sunday. The Dane County Humane Society has more than 30 adult cats listed on its website that are looking for homes. For more information on the animals available at the shelter, head to our website, channel3000.com. Some area families are frustrated with a senior apartment complex.
They're fighting to be reimbursed after they were displaced by this summer's historic flooding. We'll hear from a concerned family. That's next at 6. Tenants at a senior apartment complex on Madison's west side are out hundreds of dollars.
They were displaced from their homes following this summer's historic flooding. Rose Schmidt shares one family's story as they wait to get reimbursed.
It's been more than 3 months since seniors were required to evacuate their homes here at Prairie Park. The apartment complex now has a new sign and a new paint job, and residents and their families have new questions.
Stressed, very stressed.
The word that comes to mind as Melissa Olson recounts the last few months.
Well, it's been really stressful. I mean, my parents, they don't even want to talk about it.
Her parents, Jeff and Susan, had moments to leave their home after floodwaters wiped out the electrical system at Prairie Park.
They're just beside themselves.
Melissa's parents moved into her house in Brooklyn for 28 stir-crazy days.
You know, they were living at their daughter's house. You'd think it'd be like, oh, that's okay, but it's not, you know, to be put out of your own home and have to live under someone else's roof.
After repairs were made, Jeff and Susan were allowed to return and found others had moved out.
When they went back, it was like a ghost town, that every day there were trucks and trucks just packing up residents' belongings because people don't want to deal with it.
The apartment complex told tenants they would be reimbursed for the money they spent on hotels and other costs while they were displaced.
Meanwhile, the bills have come and had to been paid.
Hundreds of dollars Melissa and her husband spent in everyday living expenses for her parents.
They still are told that there's no timeline on reimbursement.
And that's what we were told too. Officials with the property management company say they don't have an estimate on the time it will take.
If they go down to the office to try to ask questions, then they receive a letter on their door that says, hey, you can't come to the office to ask questions.
So the Olsons have two requests for Prairie Park.
They need to do whatever they can to push this along.
Answer their questions, and remember, many of these people are disabled or on fixed income.
I wish they'd treat my parents a little more respectfully.
Rose Schmidt, WISC News 3.
Greystone Property Management says it negotiated with the insurance company on reimbursing the residents for displacement costs for housing, and the insurance company will need to process the claims.
In the meantime, Melissa's parents plan to move out of Prairie Park. Still ahead, a holiday tradition comes to life tonight in southern Wisconsin.
Plus, troubles for the Salvation Army when it comes to the organization's Red Kettle campaign.
And how's our weekend shaping up? We'll get an update from meteorologist Dave Caulfield next in our First Alert forecast.
I gave him a The Salvation Army of Dane County is $410,000 short of its goal with only 14 days to go. The Red Kettle campaign is the biggest fundraiser of the year for the Salvation Army with a goal of $525,000. Right now, they're at just a little over $100,000 and only 28% of the bell ringer positions are filled. If the Salvation Army doesn't reach its goal, this will likely affect the programs the organization supports.
This time of year, we rely upon those resources, and we do a single women's shelter, and we have a family shelter. We have an after-school program. We have a variety of programs with our disaster services, and this all just helps us raise resources to put towards those programs.
The 3 remaining Saturdays are match days, so if you donate to a Christmas Kettle campaign, your money will be matched by local philanthropic organizations. The Salvation Army is asking if you have 2 hours, please volunteer to be a bell ringer.
The holiday train is passing through our area tonight. The Canadian Pacific Railway will stop at Columbus around 9 tonight. It'll then head off to Portage and Wisconsin Dells tomorrow night. Altogether, the train will make 13 stops here in Wisconsin. You can learn more about its journey online at channel3000.com.
To weather now, it's going to be a cold weekend ahead. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Susan. Yeah, the cold air train is not showing any signs of stopping. There we go. I was just so mesmerized by those lights and mesmerized by this photo as well. Kenton Fowler sends this in from the sunset tonight on Lake Wingra. Also, we have some one solitary ice fisher there. Thanks so much for sending this in. Our time lapse in Madison showing a little bit of sunshine throughout the day, and we could really use that this time of year. It helps make being outside a lot more bearable, even though temperatures did not get out of the 20s once again today. And really, over the past 2 months, I was doing some calculating, we've had only 10 days of clear or mostly clear skies. So really any type of sunshine we can get this time of year is welcomed. Mother Nature, take notes. Live look in Madison on the WISC-TV Skycam at the cloudy skies. We're actually entering over the next couple of days the darkest time of the year. Earliest sunset is coming up from December 8th through the 10th, and that will be at 4:22 p.m. But it's not the shortest day of the year. That, of course, happens on the winter solstice, which is when the season of winter begins on December 21st. That's the day of the year with the least daylight. The North Pole tilted 23.5 degrees away from the sun for those playing at home. Doppler track showing some flurries earlier this evening and maybe a few snowflakes into this evening, but nothing that we need to concern ourselves with, nothing that's going to really impact us all that much. Temperatures are going to impact us, that's for sure, with those thermometer readings right now at 21 in Madison and in Janesville, 19 in Monroe, 23 in Lone Rock. If you factor in a little bit of a wind out of the west, we're looking at it feeling like 13 in Madison, 17 in Lone Rock, and 13 as well in Viroqua. Our high temperature trend over the next couple of days, we are staying chilly and a little bit chillier than we should be. But as we head into the middle of next week, just in time for maybe some mixed precipitation, those thermometer readings do go a few degrees above where we should be. So at least that's some good news. But we won't have to deal with any of the messy weather heading to the Carolinas and also to the south of us because of this high pressure system. So say thank you over the next couple of days for the dry and chilly weather, because this high pressure system does have some origins in Canada, but it does keep us sunny, and that will keep us getting a little bit warmer day by day as we head into the weekend and the start of next week as well. Tonight, partly cloudy and cold with temperatures near 12. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, not quite as cold. I do think those highs reach the upper 20s for the first time in some time. Now, future track wind chills, there is a chance of seeing some more single-digit wind chills overnight into early tomorrow morning. But day by day, those temperatures continuing to get just a little bit warmer, and that sunshine really helping it feel a little bit warmer outside. Hopefully that wind calms down throughout the day as well. Tuesday, 33 degrees above freezing and sunny. Is that a typo? I got to check that a little bit further, but into the middle of next week, our next chance of maybe some rain and snow showers comes our way with those temperatures back into the mid-30s.
The Badger volleyball team is one step away from the Final Four. We'll show you a dominating performance this afternoon against San Diego in sports. The Badger volleyball team is through to the regional final. This afternoon, Wisconsin makes short work of San Diego, sweeping the Toreros in straight sets in Champaign, Illinois. The Badgers show their dominance from the start after a couple of nice defensive plays. Wisconsin sets its senior, Tiana Williams, and boy, does she know what to do with it. Williams helps Wisconsin win the first two sets, 25-13, 25-16, and more of the same in the third. Here's match point. M.E. Dodge sets up Sydney Hilly. Takes about an hour and 10 minutes for the Badgers to beat San Diego and move into the regional final. The Badgers play Illinois at 3 tomorrow afternoon in that regional final.
You know, it's an opportunity to go to the Final Four. So you're going to have, you know, it'll be interesting to see who can manage their emotions and environment. And we're certainly looking forward to the opportunity. There's a tremendous opportunity in front of both teams, and it should be a great match to watch.
The Badger women's hockey team begins this weekend at St. Cloud this afternoon. The #1 ranked Badgers are so good, even their fourth line can score. Caitlin Schneider gets the goal here. Final score is Wisconsin 8, St. Cloud 2. The Badger men's hockey team hosts Michigan State at 7 tonight at the Kohl Center. Former Badger Sam Decker is coming to the Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks in Cleveland are finalizing a trade. The Bucks will get Decker and George Hill. The Cavs will get Matthew Dellavedova, John Henson, and a first and second round Bucks draft pick in 2021. Tomorrow in Milwaukee, the 123rd meeting of Wisconsin and Marquette in men's basketball. They'll tip at Fiserv Forum just after 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The visiting team has won the last 4 games and 6 of the last 8. Last year, Marquette took apart Wisconsin at the Kohl Center, and Badger fans were pretty torqued when all the Marquette players and fans rubbed a little salt in there. The rivalry seems as intense as ever.
When I first got here, you know, I'm from Illinois, so I didn't really, I was just trying to win a basketball game. And now, you know, over the years, after seeing a lot of Marquette fans talk trash on Twitter and all these things, like, yeah, it becomes a win that you want, you know, more than just a basketball game. You want bragging rights.
All of us Wisconsin kids understand what goes into this game and the pride that you take from it if you win. So the stakes are pretty high, but that's the way we want it.
The Badger football team practiced today, getting ready for the Pinstripe Bowl against Miami December 27th. It'll be the first time the Badgers have played a bowl game at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Yeah, it's not going to probably be a warm weather site, but it is a unique venue and, from what people say, a first-class bowl experience. For Salem, New Jersey native Jonathan Taylor, it's a chance to play in front of family and friends. Yep. And that will be December 27th, 4:15 Central Time kickoff.
All right, Dave Caulfield, final check of the forecast.
That is rarely a warm place because you got the wind tunnel as well. It's just
like cool to be in New York.
Yeah,
I think. I don't know. It's a cool venue.
Christmas.
Yeah, very fun.
It is cool outside. In fact, it's very cold. There's really no other way to describe it. 21 right now in Madison, 19 in Monroe, and 24 in Prairie du Chien. Temperatures continuing to fall through the teens. And that's where we start off our Saturday. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow, though, so that's good news. Highs should make it into the upper 20s, and then we'll be in the 30s with some sunshine by the start of next week.
That'll feel warm.
Thanks for joining us at 6. See you back here tonight at 10.
Download the new Channel 3000 app and get alerted on your mobile device the minute news breaks. Wherever you go, be the first to know with Channel 3000.